Listen, you young whippersnappers. Jim Rutt used to moderate a discussion on ham radio. He knows what he's talking about. And you are just trying to censor the conversation so that the Ku Kluxers don't have their rights. Also,
I like censoring Ku Klux Klan members.
This guy also, remember around the 70s, they had conversation pits in some rich people's houses. This guy was actually the moderator of those conversations too. Holding court. Yeah, we got to watch the rest of this. This is like really frustrating to watch because I swear to you, this guy is taking he's trying to apply like basically his experiences moderating what are essentially BBSs and like apply that to Twitter. And I don't think that just because you do those two things on a fucking computer, I don't think that I think they're so far apart from each other.
They serve similar roles, but they're not the same roles.
Right. Like a BBS back in the day, you know, a real popular one, maybe in a major metro area would have a few thousand users, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there might have been a massive one with tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of users, but like it wasn't like at the scale that social media is at.
Yeah, it's kind of like Reddit is not moderated in the same way that Twitter is. Because Reddit doesn't function the same, and it doesn't function in the same purpose.
Right. Reddit's just basically fucking message boards.
Yeah.
And
Reddit does have its like global terms of service, and you can't break those no matter what subreddit you're in. But like the general rules apply per subreddit.
Yeah, I know. I don't know, like, does this guy want like these little siloed places? Because I'd be fine with like exploding all these companies and sort of like doing something federated where you could be on one server with one set of rules and somebody else could be, but that's never going to happen. Just like ham radio isn't coming back. And like,
yeah, I would be cool with, like my idea of how we can improve it is basically have these places like Facebook and Twitter have their APIs open.
Where they're more
so that
protocol.
Like they have to show content from other platforms, and you know other platforms can show their content.
Right, more of a protocol and less of less of a monolith.
Yeah. But like
that's not going to happen. There's no money in that.
Yeah, and that would really only solve like some of the issue, because like you know you'd still have people trying to change the rules of whatever they're on when they don't agree with the rules.
And I mean, that's fine. You can actually like, there's no problem with your like, I don't think this rule on Twitter is good. There's no problem with like you saying that, right? It's fine to say that.
Yeah, I guess he disagrees. I don't know.
Well, we're going to get back to this. This guy doesn't, oh man. Again, like, people get so mad at me for like the way in which I'm critical of David Fuller, but I just think he has like very poor judgment and like he brings on people like who this guy's not an expert in any of this stuff. He's claiming to be. Aaron isn't claiming to be an expert on this kind of stuff, but he's showing like more more understanding of the domain of like extremism and like violent content on the internet. Do you know what I'm saying? He's showing more of and he's not claiming to be like an expert in this at all. And this guy's claiming to be an expert, and his fucking ideas are like 30 years old.
Yeah, his ideas apply to like very specific sites. They wouldn't work on Twitter.
Or maybe they would, but Twitter would be a very different place where, I don't know, I wouldn't even be there. Like a lot of people wouldn't.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. It wouldn't work on Twitter. It would drive users away.
Right, because you'd have to being polite all the time. It's like when I was talking, when I talk to people about civility, like civility is a means to an end. It's not an end in and of itself. If you and I disagree about something, having a nice civil conversation about it to see where each other's coming from is good. But the fact that we had a nice civil conversation about it didn't really solve anything in and of itself, right? Like the solution either comes or it doesn't. The civility is just like a tool you could use to get there. Just like skepticism is a tool, just like trying to be rational about things is a tool, just like critical thinking is a tool. Civility would be another tool in your tool belt in the marketplace of ideas.
Yeah.
Bad faith could be a tool if wielded properly. In fact, I like to think sometimes we wield bad faith properly around here. So,
Jim Rutt is a tool.
What?
Jim Rutt is a tool.
He is. He is. He also I'm trying to think. He also moderated the letters to the editor of a fucking, I don't know, a newspaper. I don't know. Never.
And so you're against
any content moderation on Twitter, for example?
Let's be very careful. Decorum, absolutely. And I think they don't have enough decorum regulation on Twitter.
But no content moderation on Twitter.
And as in my article, I lay out this dangerous, inherently, truly dangerous stuff like how to make a bomb, how to commit suicide, doxing, things of that ilk. But again, it has to be very tight and but not any point of view.
Like, why are you not allowed to post how to make a bomb, but you are allowed to post like essentially trying to recruit people into your terrorist organization?
This guy's like, it's more antiquated shit. It's like he's trying to stop the Weather Underground in the 70s from like doing what they're doing, right? It's like it's fucking old timey shit, man. Yeah. And just the fact that he also, I'm getting a screenshot of this for sure. The fact that he wants to regulate decorum
with the fingers.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna get the whole fucking thing. The fact that like he wants to regulate decorum above all else tells us something about this guy. It's that he wants a version of discourse in which people aren't rude to each other, and that's like the end for him, not a means to an end, but the end goal almost. And I just disagree. I just disagree. I don't think I should have to be polite to people who, like, for example, want to take or advocating to take my rights away from me, right? Why should I?
And I'm sorry that he gets so offended by being called an idiot. But if he weren't such an idiot, then people wouldn't be calling him an idiot.
A good screenshot. I got to do the screenshots again tomorrow.
Including advocacy for overthrowing the United States government, so long as it didn't get to the level of being a violation of law, which would be seditious conspiracy. If it's for instance, wait,
hold on. Can I want to respond to a little bit of that, if they don't mind.
Hop in.
So let me say a couple of things. First of all, the distinction between how to make a bomb and QAnon. If I'm being honest, I'm more concerned about people finding QAnon than how to make a bomb. Because most people don't want to make a bomb. They have no reason to make a bomb. They're not interested in making a bomb. And if they were interested, they're going to find that information online, right? QAnon, on the other hand, is a thing that puts people in a place where they want to make a bomb, where they want to put that bomb next to the American Capitol, for example, during a violent insurrection. So I think it's a bit of a downstream solution to an upstream problem to say we're going to try to prevent people from getting access to how to build, a bomb, but we're not going to prevent them from having access to these really dangerous worldviews that make them want to make a bomb. So my opinion would be, I think it's reasonable to be doing that upstream kind of content moderation. I want to tie this back to the game B stuff that you mentioned.
Yeah, this is a really good point he just brought up.
And I think it might be worth you sketching out what it is about QAnon that you find so...
Sure.
No, he already fucking sketched that out for you, David Fuller. Like, watch this. This fucking... God, David Fuller is such an idiot.
Game B stuff that you mentioned, because you talk about this in your article.
Maybe, Aaron, I think it might be worth you sketching out what it is about QAnon that you find so toxic. I mean, I would imagine that, like, if you really dial into that and you really believe that there is a cabal of pedophiles, cannibals, taking, like, if you really, really believe that, then in a way, that's about the most radicalizing thing you could possibly imagine.
Well, there you go, David Fuller. You just fucking fed him back the thing that he just told you, and then asked, but why? Yeah, David Fuller. You know what? Fuck it. We'll give David Fuller a little credit for actually understanding what the fuck the problem is with QAnon here.
Good job. Good job, Dave.
Actually, you know what? Credit where credit's due.
But yeah, if someone tricks you into believing that, like, those people over there are trying to murder babies, like, you're going to want to stop them. And if someone tricks you into thinking that, like, not only are those people over there trying to murder babies, they also control the police, then you're really going to want to stop them, and you're not going to go to the police. So you're going to take matters into your own hand. That's when someone, like Aaron said, that's when someone wants to make a bomb.
Right. If the movement becomes big enough, it's inevitable that someone will take that kind of action. It's the idea of stochastic terrorism. It's where you're not telling any specific person to do anything, but because of the rhetoric you're putting out there, if enough people hear it, eventually someone's going to go potato.
Yeah, and that's when you become a terrorist organization.
It grips people at a very visceral level. It kind of I can completely see that QAnon at the moment is not, I wouldn't say is quite at the level of a major domestic terror threat, but you can certainly imagine when it would be in the future.
So I think
I think it is.
I know not everyone's going to agree with the DHS, but insofar as you think that they are somewhat clear-eyed in their risk assessments, they have fairly consistently pointed to right-wing domestic anti-government terrorism as being one of, if not their highest concern, going back to the Trump years and before. And I think that's reasonable. And when you look at things like Oklahoma City, I think I understand, and the sovereign citizens and folks like that, you know where that's coming from. And QAnon is part of that memeplex. So for folks who aren't familiar, QAnon is not just a conspiracy about pedophiles and not just a conspiracy about cannibals. It's specifically a conspiracy about harvesting something called adrenochrome from children and then putting it into elite people to keep them alive longer. This is a version of what's called blood libel, which is an anti-Semitic conspiracy theory going back hundreds of years that was the idea that Jews would steal Gentile children and use them to bake matzah and various other kinds of Jewish foods. It's a conspiracy. It's one of the earliest sort of widely spread conspiracy theories in the modern world, along with like the Protocols of the Elders of Zion. It's one of the reasons that almost all conspiracism on a long enough timeline trends back towards anti-Semitism. And QAnon is a classic example of this. I'm sure many people in QAnon have no idea that is what they are engaged in, and are, nice people who think that they're just unraveling deep state conspiracy theories or something like that. But if you don't know that stuff, it makes you more susceptible when versions of that come along in the form of attacks on globalists, attacks on Bill Gates, attacks on vaccines. All of that stuff is more easily onboarded once you are in these kinds of spaces. So I think it's very difficult to overestimate the kind of risk that conspiracism plays, in particular on the right now, and is going to continue to for the near future, and that we don't have a good solution to this problem. But I think almost everyone I talk to who studies this blames Facebook significantly for the period of time when QAnon groups were not only allowed, but heavily promoted by the algorithms because they were popular, as a period in which
our fake account still gets fucking things that are like follow the white rabbit. And then they like claim on their fucking shit to be about Alice in Wonderland. And the group ain't about no Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
It's about QAnon.
And they're using that coded language because every time one of their like keywords gets banned, they just make a new keyword, and eventually it's all keywords.
Like, I'll go off a little bit here. Our fake account helped a moderator of a group that was legitimately about Alice in Wonderland understand what was going on in her group. Because I joined it with our fake account on Facebook because I assumed it was a QAnon group, and then I saw like a mix of like kind of pilled posts and then like legitimately posts about Alice in Wonderland, and some of that imagery is cool, and you could understand people are into that, right? People are into all kind of movies and stuff. And the the moderator was like asking people what they meant and like to please stop posting off topic. And then I DM'd the moderator. I'm like, hey, I'm going to take a little bit of a risk here. That I'm on a fake account and I'm a conspiracy and extremism researcher of a sort. I use this account to monitor extremism and conspiracy theories for our podcast. And what you're dealing with here is an online cult infiltrating your group, and you need to get rid of all of these people. And they didn't believe me. And then they started seeing shit about fucking like, this the first anti-Semitic post they saw, they fucking DM me. They're like, you're right. What do I do? They're like, should I make you a mod? I'm like, don't make me a mod. I don't want to be a mod. I don't want to kick any of these people out. I'm trying to fucking lay low, but I can give you examples of posts that are like coded and you will figure it out. And then she fucking purged all these people from her group, but she had no idea what was happening. I think, Kiko, you'll have to DM me tomorrow. I don't know I don't remember the name of the group, but I'm still in it if it's still there. She may have taken the group down at some point because I'm sure that she just kept getting these people in her group. She may have changed the name of it. So Kiko, hit me up tomorrow and I'll try to get you the link to the group if I'm still in it. I suggested she change the name to like Fans of Alice in Wonderland for a time, just to like get out of these people's searches. Like I outed, like, because I was seeing this thing start to spread again, and I like literally outed our fake account to a stranger because I thought it was like kind of important. So yeah, and they thought I was crazy. And then the anti-Semitism, and then they're like, "Oh, you're not crazy."
Yeah. God, imagine what she was thinking when she realized like that guy who just randomly texted me that crazy sounding nonsense is not crazy.
But these people are actually
is a horrible conspiracy theory, and I've been infiltrated.
Well, she was polite. She thanked me, and she said
but imagine like why should some nice old lady who I'm assuming her age.
She was 30s, 40. I don't know. I didn't.
Okay. Why should some nice, normal lady online just trying to talk about Alice in Wonderland have to wade through all of this fucking conspiracy garbage just because Facebook won't deal with these people? Like, they're pushing all their moderation onto like the moderators of these groups.
Well, the other thing that was, I think, happened, right, is the people started looking for follow the white rabbit, because that was a fucking QAnon thing for a while. I don't think Q posted it. It was a QAnon thing. Maybe Professor Q can enlighten us on where follow the white rabbit came from. I just knew it was like a QAnon thing. And so they probably started doing these follow the white rabbit groups, and then Facebook probably started recommending this lady's group to them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So they just joined it thinking it was another QAnon group, and then they fucking tried to turn it into one. God, imagine. I mean, it doesn't matter that much. It's just a Facebook group, but like the people in there were nice. Like the regular people in there were nice. You know what I'm saying? They were legitimately just fans of Alice in Wonderland. I don't give a shit about Alice in Wonderland myself, but like you should be able to do a fan group of Alice in Wonderland and not have it get taken over by a fucking blood libel cult.
Yep. But because Facebook doesn't moderate its platform, that's where these people go. They go onto these platforms that have just normal people trying to live normal lives.
Because they're gonna peel a few of those people off.
Yeah, that's their goal.
Even if they don't know it, like even if they don't, each individual in the online movement doesn't know it, what they're doing will serve to peel a few of those people off, and then that lady who runs that group figures out that somehow through inaction maybe she feels a little bit guilty because this one nice lady who's posting all these Alice in Wonderland things in her group is now, and she even like maybe friended her or something on Facebook. Right now she's posting about adrenochrome because of somebody that she found got found in her group. Imagine that, like thinking about like watching this person like ruin their fucking life because your group happened to say follow the white rabbit. And it might be related to the Matrix.
It's not her fault. It's Facebook's fault.
Right, but
Facebook doesn't want any of that responsibility. I mean, just look at what fucking Mark Zuckerberg went in front of Congress and essentially begged Congress, like, make some laws that I can follow so I don't have to be personally responsible. So my company doesn't have to be responsible for this. Because he doesn't want the responsibility. Facebook doesn't want the responsibility. They want to do the minimum they can as long as the money keeps rolling in. And
no, I don't think that the person who ran the group would be responsible, but just a human being, the person would feel some guilt, right? Like it wouldn't be unreasonable. Well, it'd be unreasonable, but it would be understandable for them to feel some guilt. It's so weird though. It's so weird. And like, I just think that this Jim Rutt guy has no idea what the fuck QAnon is.
Yeah.
People who would have otherwise led healthy, flourishing lives got sucked into a conspiratorial cult and are now, estranged from their family and stuff. It's just extremely harmful material.
Let me give you the other side of that with the exact mirror image, which is wokeism and Black Lives Matter, right? Black Lives Matter.
Okay, but hold on. Before we talk about the other side of anything, can we agree on what I just said? Because I don't want to what about this conversation. Okay. I think all right, QAnon is uniquely different from
I would say
Black Lives Matter or wokeness, but like I want to make sure that you agree with me about what I just said about QAnon.
All right, let's think about that for a second. How does QAnon differ from, let's say, snake?
Wow, Aaron, that was a really good move right there. Like he did not let this guy just change the conversation.
Right. He's like, wait, we can talk about that in a moment if you want. Yeah, Aaron's good. I like Aaron a lot. And I'm glad he went on this thing. I fucking hate David Fuller. And I would have just responded to be like, dude, I would have just been like, dude, are you listening to what I'm saying? Like it would have just ramped up, right? If he would have done that to me. And Aaron, no. It would have ramped up immediately. I think
what Aaron did right there was
perfect.
Yeah, didn't let the guy hand wave his point away. He said, "No, deal with what I just said. Then you can what about?"
Because this guy's going to be unwilling to just cop to not knowing that much about QAnon, which would be fine, right?
Maybe he does know about QAnon and he's fine with it.
But like a smart person could get out of this by going, you know what? I guess I haven't looked into QAnon as much as I should. You'll have to forgive my ignorance. I didn't know it was doing this to people's lives. Like that.
Yeah,
you get out of
why is he comparing it to Black Lives Matter? They have literally nothing in common.
So let's see what this guy says. This is amazing. This guy's full of screenshots, by the way. Excuse me. Hang on a second. This guy's a fucking idiot. Does this guy have a YouTube channel of his own? Can we torture everybody with this guy's YouTube channel? Fucking just tell everybody leaves. I'm like, all right, there's one person watching. The only person who's sitting through this is Adam Rainstopper. We'll watch something else. Although Adam seems the most mad at this person of anybody in the chat.
In a small town in West Virginia.
Scale is your answer.
Well, the number of fundamentalists in the United States is probably larger.
But not snake handlers. It's
maybe not snake handlers.
Look at that. Fucking he's so good at this. Just calmly being, but that's not snake handling. Yeah, not snake handlers. Fucking look, he knows he's fucking you could tell he knows he's doing a good job too. He could just kind of he's like, oh, this is easy.
But QAnon has not, as far as I know, has not actually erupted into actual violence. I mean,
that's incorrect.
Yes, it has. Absolutely, it has.
Example of QAnon-based violence for sure. But also, I think it's important to understand the recent spike in everyone on the right calling people groomers is the mainstreaming of QAnon's pedo conspiracism. It's the safe version for people who don't want to be seen as QAnoners, but it is absolutely as dangerous in terms of what David was just saying, that like if you tell people that there is a cabal coming for their children, there will be violence, and there has been, and there's been death threats against people on school boards. There's been people who've had to leave their area because people keep harassing them because they're teaching, pedo conspiracy stuff in schools. That there is real harm being done, and I feel like you see this as sort of like another fun debate game or something, and not like people's lives being ruined by this.
It happens, right? Safetyism should be eschewed, right? The world is built on fairly extreme events.
This guy's not doing himself any favors by having his camera like half a foot from his fucking dome, right?
And with like the sheet is like on top of his head too. Like he's built a little, like, the like forts you would build as a kid.
Yeah, he built a blanket for it.
Yeah, he's built a blanket for it, and that's where he's streaming this from.
That is the price. For instance, I am a strong Second Amendment freedom person, as you might imagine, right? And people say, "Well, what about
pro-gun control?" And fine with people owning guns and knew many hunters, but yeah, I don't think we should just be allowing everyone to just run rampant with whatever guns they want. Like, I think we actually clearly value moderation on that front too.
Yeah, I would say a sensible moderator. I believe you should have rules about carrying of guns in public. So that gets the NRA after my ass. But on the other hand, on your private property, have any guns.
This guy's desperately trying to change the subject. Yep. He may not even be aware that that's what he's doing, but that's what I see is he's trying to change the subject. Because he can't cop to just not knowing that much about QAnon because he doesn't care, because it's not Black Lives Matter or wokeness.
Yeah, I mean, he said there's no violence, and it's like that's completely false.
The most famous case was legitimately someone ran someone off the road because they thought that person was trafficking the children in their car.
I wouldn't say that's the most famous case. I think the most famous case was the Comet Pizza.
That was Pizzagate. That was before QAnon, but it's the same. I understand it's the same exact conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
Just
okay.
Different branding. Yeah. Or the guy that like was on a bridge on a dam or whatever and ended up in a standoff with the police. That was a pretty famous case. Luckily in both of those cases, no one really got hurt. But there have been people that were busted plotting to essentially like storm a local orphanage. There were people that thought their neighbors who had foster kids were trafficking those kids, and like, the police were called and nothing happened, but there were just all kind of weird shit. So like the only way in which this is good, it's like, there's dams you can drive across. It's like a bridge anyway. And I may be wrong about that, but it was on a bridge near a dam. I don't know. It's famous though. Look it up. Look like QAnon dam standoff or whatever. You'll see the story I'm talking about. But can't this guy just cop to not knowing shit about QAnon? Yeah, the QAnon freak shot the Gambino mob boss too because he thought the Gambino mob boss was in on the adrenochrome. Like, can't you just cop to not knowing that much about QAnon? Most people don't. It's fine. My mom doesn't know much about QAnon. She asked me about it though, and I told her some of it. She's like, let's stop talking about this. I'm an old lady. Like, no thanks. Nope. I'm like, well, just stay off of 4chan, Mom, and you'll be fine. She's like, what's that? I'm like, good. It's okay to not know about QAnon, right? But this guy,
I would say it's better to not know about QAnon.
But this guy can't just cop to not knowing this stuff about it. And then he can say, oh, I don't know this stuff about it, and maybe I need to rethink my assessment of it. And then you just move on and go back to talking about content moderation more broadly. But now, no, this guy can't do that. It's such an easy out for this guy, and he's not going to take it.
Yep.
let's not get distracted onto guns. I think to summarize Aaron's point, Jim, I think his point is that your division between decorum and viewpoint moderation doesn't really hold up when you've got these toxic perspectives that could potentially lead to violence, like QAnon. That division doesn't really. But a hard and fast rule around decorum does not take care of that radicalizing force.
Yeah, let's drill into that. Let's just drill into that. Yeah. I would say that what we miss is my third category, which is inherently dangerous content.
Why is he doing the Satan hand sign? He's part of the cabal.
Distinguished from the QAnon discussion. You could certainly talk about QAnon in a decorous fashion, and you would not.
Yeah, I don't think we have that much disagreement on the decorum side of things. Maybe small details, but I don't think that's part of the issue here.
And I think the question is in my third middle category of inherently.
I vehemently agree that I should be able to call this fucking idiot a fucking idiot.
Right. And you're not, I think we've discussed too, the ad hominem attack, and I don't like the word attack, but whatever, versus the ad hominem fallacy, right? If you call this guy a fucking idiot, you're not saying he's wrong because he's an idiot. You're saying he's an idiot because he's so wrong about everything. So it really matters which direction the car is going.
Yeah, I'm not saying his view is wrong because he's an idiot. I'm saying I have seen his view, and I have deemed it a view so idiotic that the only kind of person who could hold such a view is an idiot. Therefore, he's an idiot.
Right. It just really depends which way the car is going. Is the car going, I've seen the things you say, those things are wrong, and I've determined that you're a fucking idiot, or I decided before I ever listened to anything you said that you're a fucking idiot, and now I think everything you're saying is wrong. The second one is the ad hominem fallacy.
Yep.
You're wrong because of who you are.
I would say that the idea that we shouldn't ridicule ridiculous things is like a much worse form of censorship than anyone on the right is screaming about the censorship, people wanting to censor things like QAnon.
Right, like the king used to have a one dude who was allowed to make fun of him, and it was always a dude, by the way. They never let a woman be the jester. Maybe the woman would have had some real good digs at the king, but otherwise it was off with your head because you were making fun of the king. So and I know that that's like a fucking, like a kind of a fairy tale cartoon version of it, and the things didn't always work this way. And sure, there were places where you were allowed to criticize or make fun of the king. There might have been a king who really appreciated a good bit of trolling from those people down there. How cute, they have jokes about me, honey, this one's funny, but yeah, I think you're right. I think like the idea that I think his version of moderation is actually more censorious than the version of moderation where the moderation seeks to prevent real world harm from happening, where his version of moderation is like, I would be kicked off of his platform very quickly for clowning people for being hella racist or whatever.
Yeah, his version of moderation is everyone stay polite. We need to all act like elementary school kids. We can't use any curse words. If you're mean to each other, I'm going to put you both in timeout.
Right, it's infantilizing in a way.
Yeah.
And like, the kind of content moderation I want to see, and I know there's going to be problems with it too, is like if people start talking about the Great Replacement, kick them off your website.
Yeah, I would say like, if someone is advocating for a conspiracy theory or advocating for a cult,
I would say the conspiracy theory you would generally allow, because the birds aren't real thing is parody of conspiracy theory.
Is what I meant.
Yeah, but if it becomes like a thing that's like causing harm in the real world, but again, like we're not the fucking ones who are supposed to be deciding this. There are these people who are supposed to be these really smart titans of industry and shit, and they're hiring like supposedly ethicists and shit to figure this out. And they're not doing it. They're just doing the bare minimum at every given place. And but like this guy, I'm like, I keep coming back to this, and I hate to like be a broken record. The fact that David Fuller had this guy on as some kind of expert in content moderation because he moderated the airwaves on ham radio in 1974 or whatever the fuck is like not like this. Come on, man. It's like bringing an a retired airline mechanic who retired in 1980 on to like help design your new supersonic jet.
Well, I think he does still moderate some websites. Like didn't he say he moderated like well.com or something? Yeah,
but I'm afraid to go to well.com on stream because there's probably fucking shit on there that's going to get me kicked off of Twitch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I understand what you mean. Like his idea of moderation is like these very small niche sites that like it may work for them, but we're talking about like sites with the volume of users like Twitter.
And they're not even bringing, Aaron was the only one to even bring up Facebook at all, saying that Facebook was the real problem and that's where QAnon really spread. They're just talking about Twitter that's got a couple 100 million users. And in that case, I guess it is a bit of a niche site because most of the people that are on there all the time are going to be people like me, like people who are interested in politics, interested maybe creating their own content. Journalists are on there, influencers are on there. You know what I'm saying? It's more people like me are generally going to be oversampled on a site like Twitter because of who else is on there and news gets broken on there and you see things you're never going to forget and wish you hadn't seen, like happened to me today on Twitter. And no, we're not going to talk about it. Oh my God.
I think part of the difference between Facebook and Twitter is that Twitter reaches normal people through actual like news outlets. When something gets popular enough on Twitter, because it's public, it gets covered on like mainstream news outlets. Whereas with Facebook, something would have to be like just absolutely ridiculously popular for it to go off of Twitter onto some news or off of some mainstream news outlet.
Right. Because again, on Facebook, Twitter, on Twitter, people like you, more me than you. No, there's no problem there. Just more me than you are like going to be oversampled on Twitter. And that's going to include people who work in a newsroom. So they go to Twitter to get their news. Also, the president used it as his main source of his main outlet for a while. Hold on. We got to go back to this. God, we're never going to get through this fucking video.
And where I give the example of poisons, suicide guides, and bomb making, and doxing. Doxing could go in decorum. It's not clear whether it goes in decorum or goes in just inherently bad content.
Well, then your categories are meaningless, but whatever.
I would draw the line there and not including.
We already knew that.
You say that there are some viewpoints that are that are of like kind to bombs, poisons, and suicide instructions.
No, that's not. He didn't say. No. He didn't say that they're of like kind. He said that it will drive people to go look for how to build the bomb.
Yeah, he actually said it was worse.
Right. He said because the people will be like, I need to build a bomb because they're harvesting adrenochrome in the Getty Museum or whatever the fuck. Like, you know what I'm saying?
He said the instructions for making the bomb isn't the dangerous part because normal people don't want to make a bomb. He said that the content that makes someone that radicalizes someone to the point that they want to make a bomb, that's the dangerous part. So yeah, I guess he did say they're different, but he said the radicalization content is much more dangerous, which I agree with.
The inherently dangerous content box. And my position is that viewpoints are a different ontological class, and that if we want to regulate viewpoints, that's a third category that one has to think about. And probably under the far exception rule, which some people refer to as the Popper paradox.
So didn't we all kind of decide together as a society that we're okay with regulating viewpoints when we put Charles Manson behind bars?
Right, because he didn't lay a finger on nobody.
Yeah.
Wait, conspiracy laws or yeah. The regulations of speech. Fucking good call, right? If you and me,
yeah, like we've already decided that.
right?
We
Yeah,
have
if you and
laws
me,
against that. We put people in prison over that.
right?
Like
If you and
can't
me,
just say like that's different somehow.
yeah, if you and I
because it exists online.
if you and I make a plan to do something illegal, that's illegal.
Yeah. Or if we convince other people to do those things. If we don't even have the plan to do it ourselves, if we convince other people to do those things, that's illegal.
Incitement to violence.
Well, that's still conspiracy.
Yeah,
you don't even have to participate. If you're just convincing other people to do it, that's still conspiracy.
At some point, a limit. But I would also
wait. What about all these anti-terrorism laws? Like, isn't a terrorist group just a fucking viewpoint? Like, this all falls apart as soon as Al Qaeda.
If I'm wrong on that.
His shit's gonna fall apart as soon as fucking Al Qaeda shows up or fucking ISIS shows up on his website and starts trying to fucking put their viewpoint out there. You think this motherfucker's not gonna kick them off?
Yeah. Yeah. What if my viewpoint is that Jim Rutt specifically is the devil and
should be dealt with accordingly?
Yeah. Like, what if that's my viewpoint? Is that not dangerous? If I actually convince other people that that's true and they start planting bombs at his house, is he going to be like, oh, well, I can't infringe on free speech. I have to just step over these bombs every day now.
He would suggest the person that taught them to build the bomb was the problem. But the thing is, you and the person who taught them to build the bomb in that scenario would face a similar fate. Yeah. You just tell them, okay, now do Al Qaeda.
Yeah.
That's right. Now do ISIS.
Yeah.
He's like, well, that's different. They're fucking,
Yeah. Yeah, we know.
Yeah, we know.
We don't agree, but we know.
Please don't quote Popper's Paradox of Tolerance unless you've actually read Open Society and Its Enemies and realize that this is a rather narrow, extreme exception to Popper's general argument in favor of an open society. So, now
he's trying to talk down to this. Now he's trying to talk down to Aaron. Come on, dude. Like, that's not very good decorum. No, please don't quote this thing unless you've read all these things. How does he know this guy hasn't read all these things? The thing you do, you go, hey, have you read this book? Have you read this stuff? And then the person answers yes or no. That's decorum, sir. Sir.
It's not bad decorum because he didn't use a dirty word.
Yeah. At the end of the day, there are probably some viewpoints that I would be tolerable to censor or to moderate away, but they would have to be like.
He's just gonna say it. Watch, he's just gonna say it's gonna be like Al Qaeda or some shit, or the Al Aqsa Martyrs Brigade, or what's like some 1980s version of that.
Just everything except radical Christian terrorism. Like
way more extreme and have gotten a lot farther in their progress towards actually threatening to choke off freedom than QAnon has.
Okay, yeah. So,
ask him for an example because it's going to be people from the Middle East, 100%, right?
Yep.
I'd just leave that there, but I'd be like, well, like what?
So let me respond to that. I mean,
let me just ask a counterfactual, Jim. If say QAnon did erupt into more violence, there were more. It was clearly a motivating factor in violent actions beyond what we've seen so far. You could have, like the guy who went to the pizza restaurant and shot it up after Pizzagate, or you can argue how much it was influenced on.
There's been some parents who've killed their children over it.
Yeah. I would say,
would you then change your mind on that kind of viewpoint moderation if it was clearly seen to be?
Dude, tilt your camera up, Dave.
Yeah, I would say if it, we'll play a little bit of game here. If it killed 1 million people in the United States, I'd say yes. And I would say a lower floor, as we know.
Okay, well, capitalism's killed 1 million people in the U.S.
Is that your floor? So the people who did 9/11 should just be able to like fucking keep recruiting on Twitter because they didn't kill no 1 million people? You dumb motherfucker. Oh, but that's different, right? Oh, there, you know.
Coronavirus killed 1 million people in the U.S. So,
well,
is he fine moderating that content?
To be fair, the coronavirus can't make a Twitter account.
Yeah, but you know what I mean.
I mean, if it did make a Twitter account,
stuff.
if it did make a Twitter account, it would be Brett Weinstein's account. But decorum, I'd get kicked off of his shit for saying that. Fuck, man.
Killed 20 people and did $2 billion.
Thanks for the resub, Sassy
Snicks. We
Snicks.
probably shouldn't.
5 months.
That
champion.
would be Black Lives Matter, which is another kind of false conspiracy theory that has erupted.
Wait, is it a false conspiracy theory that Black Lives Matter? Oh,
I think he's going to say it's a conspiracy theory that the police kill black people at a disproportionate rate.
Oh, he's going to say they kill more white people total if he says anything about this. I hope Aaron just goes back and says, but you haven't even answered any of my stuff about QAnon.
And produced lots of actual harm. So we are willing to tolerate harm at that level. And so we know that that's tolerated by our society. And so somewhere between Black Lives Matter and 1 million dead people is probably where the line is. And
probably,
but I
guess.
acknowledge that it does exist.
So let me say, first of all, from a studying conspiracism standpoint, I think there's an important argument that Black Lives Matter and wokeness, while they may cause harms, while they may be problematic in various ways, I don't think they qualify as conspiracism in the way that QAnon qualifies as conspiracism, and that they do not posit the existence of a group who are coordinating this situation in the kind of way that conspiracism, I think, has to, if it's going to count as actual conspiracism and not just being really unhappy about the state of things. I think if you look at like postmodern critiques of power, for example, they are explicitly anti-conspiratorial because what they're saying is, no, look, you're wrong. There doesn't need to be a shady back room for everything to be terrible. It can just be terrible. I want to talk about the point of view problem, because
I mean, there will be a lot of people would say that actually that CRT and Black Lives Matter do pose a particular group of people. Like,
I do think there are versions of them. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was going to respond to that because I think a lot of people watching will be saying, hang on, there is a group of people being demonized by these protests and also by the kind of the ideology behind it, and that's whiteness or white people.
Wait, what? No. Oh, David, fuck David. Fucking shut the fuck up. Like
he's not wrong. There are people who would say that, but those people are wrong.
Right. It's not. I don't know. I've met people in the local chapter of Black Lives Matter, and they didn't tell me that this was all my fault. They wanted to talk to me and get me on board with their message and make sure that like I had access to just know where their website is and where to find them online. If they all thought I was the fucking white devil, why would they try to get me like to go to their website? Like,
that's why when you look at pictures of BLM protests or like videos, or there's a shitload of white people there protesting alongside them.
In Portland, which is a very white city, most of the overwhelming majority of the protesters were white.
Yeah.
Like, this just falls apart. Like, we're not like the problem with this difference is they're saying there's a problem in our society. There's a structural problem, and we'd like for this to stop, because out of every 100,000 people, X number of white people are going to be killed by police, and X number of black people are going to be killed by police, and the number of black people is the delta between those two is high enough that we think there's a problem. That it's not, we can't explain it away with like statistical noise or whatever. So
yeah, even if you factor in, like, even if you're saying like, oh, well, white people on average are more wealthy than black people, but it's like, okay, well, let's factor that out and see if there still exists a problem. And there does.
Right.
And it's like, okay, well, it's because of whatever other reason. You factor that out, problem still exists. Like, and you look at other countries, the statistics in other countries aren't the same. Like, other countries don't have this problem that we do. It is an America specific problem.
Canada do.
Not just America, but there are other countries that don't have this problem.
This is insanity. I gotta pee and I gotta make a drink, and I feel like we got HK. We got to figure out a way for you to be able to pause the video from your home. There's got to be a way to do it, right? There's just absolutely got to be a way to do it without using like a screen share, because my system would crumble if I had to share, like, do VNC over LAN with you or something. Anyway, think about it.
There is a way to do it if you use X window. Do you use X11? Do you use X?
Yeah, I'm on X11.
Okay, yeah. I can
think about it. Think about it. Like, let's not worry about it.
tool.
Let's not worry about it right now because I have to pee right now and I'm gonna press play on this video. But get with me over this is like a 3-month goal that we'll have around here, is for anybody with the appropriate shit to be able to pause the video from their end.
Yep.
BLM and wokeness, and in fact, the Frankfurt people were pretty explicit about this. Falls into the class of open conspiracy, much like Game B does, right? Which is, we are an open conspiracy. We put our ideas out, hoping that they'll be adopted and turn into a vibrant memeplex. And,
yeah, I really want to talk about Game B because I think it's a good example of the problem I think that I have with your perspective here. But I think it's important to understand. So if you look, for example, at like Derek Bell's silent covenants, which is something that folks like James Lindsay will often point to as CRT's beating heart of conspiracism, where Bell points to genuine, and this is a problem with like just doing conspiratorial communication. I was talking with David about this earlier, that like, in the modern world, you're trying to explain the problem of conspiratorial thinking when there are well-documented conspiracies that hurt a lot of people. And like, how do you help people distinguish between conspiratorial thinking that's bad and like the skepticism that naturally arises when you learn about things that the CIA or other groups have done? That is a really significant challenge that is part of our current epistemic crisis. But I think if you read Silent Covenants, Derek Bell is not a conspiracy theorist. He's saying there has been a specific playing out of these projects, some of which involved explicit conspiratorial events like the ending of Reconstruction, and that like a lot of their arguments are meant, a lot of the systemic critique arguments are meant to explain how a system where everyone thinks they are good people doing the right thing can still have bad outcomes. And so that to me is the opposite of the kind of conspiracy.
Hold on, motherfucker. As soon as I walked away, this guy fucking dog whistled cultural Marxism, brought up the fucking Frankfurt School. Like right as I walked away, he had to wait till I walked away to do it. Cultural Marxism is a conspiracy theory that started out as cultural Bolshevism in the Third Reich. And it was used to suggest exactly what the cultural Marxism conspiracy theory is suggesting in the United States and the West right now. And it's that the Marxists and in cultural Bolshevism, it was like coded for the Jews, that they lost some kind of physical battle and that they're trying to use the culture to turn you into fucking Marxists or whatever. But the Marxism is just like a convenient, like almost midwife in this thing for, and I hate to like, that's probably a shitty way to talk about it or whatever. Somebody can hit me up later. I bet Frankfurt School is probably on the intellectual dark web bingo card. If it's not on the intellectual dark web bingo card, somebody should fucking cultural Marxism off with my head. But it's, and yeah, the word midwife is probably shitty, but it's almost like a conduit for anti-Semitism, the Marxism in this case. And so this Frankfurt School, oh man, I'm doing a real bad job here. Hopefully did Aaron even mention that he was bringing up cultural Marxism or no?
No, he didn't.
Okay.
A group of people who are bad and mean to do bad things. Now, there are versions of anti-whiteness, CRT stuff that I think absolutely go in the wrong direction and go into like, white people are part of a giant conspiracy in this way and it's really bad and like they're bad.
Yeah, like the fucking Nation of Islam. Yeah, like the fucking nation. Yeah, and like Hoteps and shit. That shit's bad. Well, that's not the BLM movement. The BLM movement has gone to great lengths to make sure that they're distanced from the Scientologied up Nation of Islam. Fucking bow tie ass motherfuckers.
I think that's a mistake, and we should correct people when they go in that kind of direction. But we shouldn't assume that whenever someone talks about white supremacy, they mean an organized conspiracy of white supremacy. What they mean is a reproducing memeplex, essentially. They mean a system that is perpetuating itself in individuals who do not see themselves as being part of that memeplex. But I really do want to talk about Game B because I have a specific point here about this. That is a concern about, similar to the QAnon thing. So you said in your Game B groups, you don't allow anti-Semitism. My understanding was, and this comes up in your article, your groups were shut down for a period of time. And in the article, you don't say why, which is confusing to me, because my understanding is it was because these groups were specifically infiltrated by propertarians, which are a group.
I'll give you a timeline on that. Give you the facts on that.
Okay, but let me just make sure I lay out what my concern is here.
Okay.
I believe in David's article about the propertarians and his discussions with Jordan Hall, he specifically highlights that propertarians were deliberately infiltrating Game B groups as well as other heterodox groups for the sake of recruiting. And that was why y'all initially got flagged. Now, I could be wrong about the flagging side of things. Feel free to correct me if I am. But even if that's not the reason y'all were shut down, I think propertarians present a real problem for your view, because they can come in and say, well, look, we're just a point of view. Yes, our point of view involves anti-Semitism, but it's part of a larger point of view. I think at the end of the day, what we're debating here is, can we just censor or moderate memes in isolation? Or do we sometimes have to moderate memeplexes? And I think the reality is sometimes we have to moderate memeplexes like propertarianism.
Yeah.
So please correct me if I'm wrong here.
Yeah, it was the timelines were separated by about 18 months. Yeah, we were indeed infiltrated explicitly. We now discovered, because we had somebody who defected.
Gee, why would a bunch of I don't know what propertarianism is, but I know who Jordan Hall is. So why do you think those people would want to infiltrate this guy's group? These are basically anti-Semites. Why would a bunch of neo-Nazis think they could infiltrate this guy's groups and recruit people from them, HK?
Because he seems to be okay with them and kind of buddy, and probably a lot of the people that hang out in his groups are those kind of people.
So Game B, I'm taking it as a message board, and it was probably some kind of thing they were calling heterodox, which means generally that we claim to listen to everybody unless you're a lefty. That's what heterodox I think means, and that's probably what Game B groups were. Probably crawling with white supremacists. Or white supremacy light.
By the propertarians, which are kind of a crackpot, neo-Nazi, explicitly anti-Semitic group. And they had lurked for a few months. And then they all activated at once, presumably by some signal. And
it was the Pat signal. I can't say the thing I was about to say.
3 or 4 days, we expelled them all.
Oh my God.
That was a year and a half before the Facebook incident. We still do have no idea. My best guess, and I've talked about this quite extensively on podcasts and with AI people, is that it was a accidental side effect of Facebook playing with its anti-QAnon algorithm. It happens.
Dude, his group was pilled as fuck. And since Facebook took it down, there's no way to fucking verify or falsify that. But I bet his group was pilled as fuck. If it got taken down during that QAnon shit, I bet this group was just straight up pilled. And this guy's actually kind of glad it got taken down for the purpose of the conversation he's in.
So wait, this was a Facebook group? This wasn't an off-site group?
I think he was saying it's 2 separate incidents.
Okay.
So and he's not explaining it well enough, but I'm telling you, if his Facebook group got taken down during that Q shit, his group was hella pilled. Oh yeah, the archives. If somebody can find, it's called Game B. If anybody can find reporting on what was going on with Game B, kind of give us the fucking 30,000 foot view, I'd really appreciate it, actually.
the day after of Biden's inaugural, where a lot of people reported strange moderation actions. And so,
Facebook fucking switched gears on y'all because there was a new president and they are a corporation and they're going to try to chum up with whoever the fucking president is. This is not like, come on, man. You don't even have to think too deeply about this.
No fights going on in the Game B group. The Propetarians have been booted, a year and a half before.
Had you cleared out any of their all their anti-Semitic content as well, I assume?
Well, they never had any anti-Semitic content.
Oh, I see.
I don't believe you.
So
this guy's group was fucking pilled as fuck.
How did he know that they were anti-Semitic then?
I'm telling you, this guy's group was so pilled that Facebook figured out that it was hella pilled and kicked them off during the inauguration. Just so they had something shiny to hang up to the new administration, right?
I mean, were they just saying like, hey, here's a link, go over to this website and maybe think about joining us? And then you go to the website and it's like a bunch of anti-Semitic stuff? Because I would consider that anti-Semitic content. A link to anti-Semitic content is anti-Semitic content.
Oh, this guy, great. Claw Frank is looking at thank you, Claw Frank. So somewhere this guy claimed that his Plan B thing was like a predecessor to the IDW. And that sort of explains a lot of things, actually. This all makes sense now. This guy's like a galaxy brain hipster. You know that person that knew that band before you did? Well, this guy had an IDW before you did. I was dumb. I was as dumb as and crazy as Jordan Peterson before it was cool.
I ask because
they might have like a random comment or
somebody
something.
Take a quick look at his website and make sure that we can run it on the show. I have a bad feeling about this guy.
Explicitly racist, they are particularly anti-black racist.
So let me mention. I understand where you're coming from there. As someone who works in skeptic debunking communities, there's a problem, and this is something that we have to. If we want to ever talk about policy of moderation, we have to talk about why AI moderation alone is never going to be the solution, because it can't distinguish not only between things like satire and stuff, but also between.
What we have here is Aaron, who's been a guest on our show and is he slummed it on our show, but he's trying to talk sense to this dude who thinks that the internet is a bulletin board from 1989. that's what's going on.
Thinks that Twitter should be moderated as such.
And that the first thing we need to moderate is decorum. So that means everyone in this chat would be kicked off of every service because y'all are shitty just like me, all right? It's fun and y'all got jokes, but a lot of times y'all are shitty. And as I'm talking about how everybody's shitty, here comes Cupcakes Moo. Cupcakes Moo, you're the shittiest person in my chat, and I love you for it.
Promoting of an idea and debunking of an idea. So a lot of my content debunker friends have trouble where their material gets taken down because it's viewed as being pro, anti-vaxxer stuff or something like that.
Yeah. I've seen that.
Oh, I've seen that too. Where have I seen that? I think Aaron might be talking about us, actually.
Yep.
But it's not just us. Team Skeptic gets their shit taken down.
Yeah, and the original stays up. That's what boggles my mind. Is they'll be like, "Oh, your anti-vax content needs to go down." And it's like, okay, well, we were just covering this other thing that's still fucking on your website.
I told, when I tried to argue with them, I was like, "Hey, the source material is still on the website," but I was like, "It's also from a city council meeting, and I don't want you to sanction my the city council of San Jose." Please don't do that. That's not the outcome I felt like I had to tell the person I was yelling at on Twitter, don't take down the city of San Jose's content. That's of public interest. I was like, but don't take me down for commenting on it. And they just replied, "You violated the rules." And I'm like, well, all right, whatever. No, Lady B Miniatures, we'll talk to the chat right now. The pod's over. Pod's over. You know what? That pod command is mostly for me to run. Honestly, if things are getting a little wild in the chat, or HK, if we're recording the pod and things are going off the rails, in the chat because new people are coming in, that's for us to do. This is not the pod. If the lights are red, it is not the podcast.
It's just Bang Pod.
Yeah. And that way, if somebody's new in the chat and is like asking questions, maybe, and none of the mods are there to tell them.
Do we have a command for Bang Ass?
See what happens if you
don't.
No. Please don't make an inappropriate command for Bang Ass. I mean, if you make an inappropriate command for Bang Ass, please make sure that it doesn't get us kicked off of this website because we like it here and we like all of you.
I'll leave it up to chat to make that.
Lady B, you can always tell if the lights are red, nobody's recording no fucking podcast here. That's like generally what the red lights are for, actually. No, wait, we had red lights before we were even on Twitch. It was just because we wanted to feel extra sexy. That's what the red lights are for.
That's right. Yeah, back when we were just audio, we had red lights.
Well, that's because fucking, you have to set a mood. Nobody plays the saxophone, so we had to like turn the lights red.
Gets taken down because it's viewed as being pro, anti-vaxxer stuff or something like that.
Yeah. I've seen that happen.
So, it's quite possible that like your community could also have run afoul of that to some degree or another. I don't know the details on that.
The timing doesn't look like it. Timing looks like it.
His group was pilled.
Some statistical anomaly. We sort of look like QAnon, even though we're the other.
But like this, there was some statistical anomaly. My group appeared to be a QAnon group. Shut the fuck up. Get the fuck out of here.
What he's saying could be plausible. I mean, like you said, the lady who was running the Alice in Wonderland fan group,
her shit got infiltrated.
Misassociated with it.
But that was at the beginning. This was after Biden was elected. The thing I'm talking about happened in like 2019 or something.
Okay.
2020 maybe. This happened after Biden was elected. This dude was claiming to know things about QAnon. He won't cop to not knowing shit about QAnon because he doesn't know shit about QAnon. So he would know, or he wouldn't know, I guess, but it's not just his group. I don't know, man. I don't fucking, what is this? If you can't blind them with science, baffle them with bullshit.
I think he's friendly with QAnon. I think he does know what QAnon is. He knows exactly what it is, and he's friendly with it.
Based on what he said, it kind of doesn't require that many assumptions to get there,
Yeah. I mean, he's friendly with KKK.
I'd be very careful about saying that. He doesn't want them kicked off of platforms, I would say.
Okay. But he said he personally has talked to several people who are
QAnon.
QAnon. So I think he's friendly with them.
Maybe he's Q.
Maybe. Maybe he's in the recruitment wing.
The only one that sort of fits the evidence and the timing and what was going on, and that other people were seeing very anomalous viewpoint censorships at exactly the same time.
If I can say, and maybe it's a small point, but I think it's for someone who works in the conspiracism world, it's a meaningful point to me. I would have loved if you'd included that in your article. If you'd said, we don't know why exactly. We think it may have been a glitch with the algorithms and that it got corrected. And this is a good reason for more throwing money at human-based correctives to AI moderation, right? Having a rapid check system that a human being can look at this thing and say, okay, this is not actually bad, put it back on the thing as fast as possible. I think that's really, really important. But when I read your article, that section to me feels like it promotes implicitly a kind of conspiracism because it sort of is like, we never found out. We don't know why. And maybe that means that there were more malicious reasons than just an algorithmic glitch. I think it's valuable to say the most likely reason is an algorithmic glitch and it got fixed, and not leave that kind of open-ended for people to wonder kind of stuff. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I think that's a good point. If I had the editor probably would have cut it because the damn paper was too long anyway. But it's absolutely.
You were on Quillette. Oh no, the editor would have cut it because it wasn't about measuring a skull. Speaking of which, that guy's skull doesn't look like it's the right shape. Excuse me.
Closing thoughts that we haven't covered with regards specifically to kind of what Elon Musk is likely to be wrestling with regards Twitter that we haven't expressed yet. I wonder, Jim, if you've got any more thoughts from your article that you haven't kind of got out that you might want to share
I think this is one where Aaron and I would agree is that late in my article, I talk about the fact that moderation has to be fair and transparent, and that any computer done moderation needs to be appealable to a human within 24 hours. And I offered, I'll admit, clever homebrew idea to have a second appeal on a market-driven basis, et cetera. People should read it.
On a market-driven basis, that means you pay for the second appeal.
But anyway, but neither here.
As soon as you involve money, you create two worlds for rich people and poor people, and that's not a good.
But notice I have a fix for that too by allowing the syndication of your appeal. So even a person with no money can make money. So anyway,
wait. So this guy wants to like monetize content moderation. This guy's probably gonna like do This guy's gonna do like content moderation coin next, but he doesn't understand Bitcoin either. So he's just gonna think he needs to buy an actual like factory to mint coins.
Like the problem with that should be pretty obvious. Like that puts an incentive on like YouTube or whatever to just nickel and dime people who are just starting out.
I mean, I think the solution to this is to just like, it's fucked up, but if your content gets pulled down, why don't they just pick 12 other users at random and have those people vote on whether or not the content violates the term of service that it was supposed to violate? And then you fucking just like you're still able to shirk it off on other people like these companies are gonna do anyway, but at least you're shirking it off on like a random grouping of users, you know?
Yeah. But then how would you get those users to vote on that?
Oh, you just fucking put a notification in people's things. They go, hey, would you like to help us moderate the platform?
Yeah,
it's not going to be perfect, but it's how we decide whether or not you go to prison for the rest of your life, for fuck's sake. So I figure it's good enough for your tweet.
Yeah, true.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not a perfect system, but there's people who are victims of that system who are going to have their lives taken from them by the government when they did not commit the crime they were convicted of. So I feel like we could just do that for Twitter, and it would.
Yeah, and maybe have some like repercussion for someone who's just like falsely reporting things that don't break terms of service.
Oh yeah. No, you put them in front of a jury of Twitter users too. You this person reported 17 things today, and they were all every one of them was overturned. Here's the things they reported. Would you like to? And you just have options. You like the fucking do a jury of your peers. Other Twitter users are just as terrible as each other anyway.
Imagine having like Twitter jury duty.
No, but you could just opt in to be like, let me take a look at this thing and see like what they said is wrong with it. If it's like, well, this is nudity, and I'd just be like, well, no, Twitter says they allow nudity, so like this is just nudity.
Yeah, I'd be fine if we just had like Twitter jury duty. Like you just had to do your jury duty every once in a while.
I'm telling you, like, the only problem with that is bots. But like, I don't think a bot would answer like the call to come do jury duty. And if you found out that bot was, eventually you just kick it off. A jury of its peers find that it should be Twitter executed. You know, get that bot the fuck out of here. Why is it deciding whether or not I get a ban? Get him out of here.
This is the silliest idea we've ever come up with.
No, I think it's fine. I think Facebook should do it too. I think it's like I think it fixes everything. Anybody starts complaining about it, I go, dude, there's someone in jail right now. The government is going to take their life because a real jury got it wrong. Why is this not an okay reason to decide if your racist Facebook post gets pulled down? You know what I'm saying?
I like the idea. I just think it's silly.
It's fucking bulletproof. This guy would hate it because most people don't like him.
I'm trying to think. I think OkCupid did that a while ago. They had like community moderators.
All right.
I think we're in agreement there, and I believe Elon has also said some things that indicate he understands that as well. But I do think the one issue, I said at the very beginning, is that if Elon does not understand that we have to have decorum moderation, he's going to blow his $44 billion, that Twitter will turn into a dumpster fire.
If Elon doesn't understand that people have to stop calling me a dumb fuck on Twitter, then he's not going to like make any money. That's how we did it. That's how we did it in 1982.
Everybody who's trying to have actual intelligent conversations will leave because there'll be troll armies. There'll be, vicious hecklers trying to stop every discussion, and that he will just have wasted his money, and Twitter will turn into 4chan, right? So that's my number one takeaway. Elon, if you're listening, focus first on decorum moderation. If you don't do that, you're going to lose. Then we can engage in the discussion of where content moderation should be drawn.
Okay, so I agree that he's going to have a lot of challenges. I think I have a little more complex of a take on the levels of the different challenges there. I agree with you that like he needs to maintain current levels of decorum moderation. I think he has a hard problem, and we didn't get into the decorum side of it because we mostly agree, but like there are hard cases like people like James Lindsay who are really, really toxic on Twitter, but are they, breaching decorum enough that it's worth removing them for that reason? And there, I actually lean towards like, no, like, I think that's not really a way to solve that particular problem. So there are hard problems of decorum, I think still. There's also, I just want to emphasize, I think he can't just be worried about decorum. He has to be worried about specific individuals. So I will say, Elon, if you're listening, don't put Donald Trump back on Twitter. I know you think this is a way to make money, and it is a way to make money, but it is a bad way to make money, and you will hurt lots of people in the process. So there are certain individuals, him, Alex Jones, folks like that, where I think we just have to acknowledge that the world is a better place if they don't have access to Twitter, and agree that we're not going to
Alex Jones
back on and do the thing that they did before. And then I think, our debate about memeplexes, I think he needs to be aware of the way that QAnon, the way that white Christian nationalism, other kinds of things can gain a pretty strong toehold in these kinds of spaces. I'm not sure the solution is always to like mass ban or something, but I don't think that, I think that has to be a part of the conversation from the beginning. And the reality is, I think if he does these things, all of the people who are excited about him will be unhappy, and he will not be happy because they're not happy, and that will be hard for everyone. But so I don't have a lot of
he's like, Elon's ego is going to be the problem here, is what he said. Good job. That's what I see as the problem.
Hopefully we can help a little bit.
Awesome. I'm sure that the comment thread is going to like everything that you've said, Aaron, and there will be no one who disagrees with you about it.
No, his comments thread was full of people like saying anti-Semitic shit about fucking Aaron. You want to go look at the comments?
Are you serious? Wow.
About keeping Trump off Twitter.
I'll argue that point all day. I think that one's a low-hanging fruit. Alongside the other stuff. Yeah.
Let me give you my answer on that one, which is before I let Trump on, I would carefully go through the decorum rules. I would expand them considerably from what they currently are, which they're surprisingly skimpy on Twitter, which is one of the reasons it's the dumpster fire.
He's like,
then I'd let Trump.
Yeah, he's just mad that, like, should we go make fun of this guy on Twitter right now?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. This guy's definitely on Twitter. Hold on, everybody. Hold on, I have to bring this over too. I do follow some not safe for work accounts on Twitter, so I got to remember to bring something over. Because I actually seen something one time, like in the pregame while I was just hanging out on Twitter before the show, like while the screen wasn't up, and then she DMs me. She's like, "Hey, don't ever browse Twitter on screen." She's like, "Just remember to always pull it off." This was Jim.
I mean,
Rutt.
that's just general good advice.
Jim Rutt.
Even if you don't follow not safe for work accounts on Twitter.
All right. Who's Jim Rutt? That's this guy. Oh, yikes. This guy only has like 8,000 followers.
Yep.
I mean, I don't have 8,000 followers. Hi.
That's him. Oh, look at that. April 23rd, he posted that he's on a Twitter sabbatical until January 2nd, 2023.
And then the next post is May 3rd. No, the next post is
apparently he posts new podcast episodes, and that's it.
I got to think long and hard before I start making fun of this guy, but I'm definitely going to start making fun of this guy. Like, look at his Twitter. Like, his Twitter. Why do people make fun of this guy's Twitter, do you think? Why do you think the people, that's all he's talking about? People be dunking on him on Twitter all day. I'll have to think long and hard before I break decorum with this guy. I bet he blocks real quick.
He violated the new precise decorum rules, I'd boot him. And if he didn't, I'd let him stay.
Why? There's a 100% certainty you will have to ban him again. 110% that he will not last any extended period of time under stricter. Like he didn't last before. Like the only reason he lasted was because they didn't have a rule.
Fine then, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's the problem then, Aaron?
Well, what's the point of putting him back on just to take him off again? I guess is my question.
Well, it's the demonstrate
because he'll have then taken himself off rather than
he took himself off the first time. Why are we?
We don't know now. We don't. He was not kicked for any really for an explicit violation of
inciting violence.
Like the whole time he was there as president, actually. Like,
inciting violence is not an explicit reason.
I rate lump, but brought us a post from this guy. I'm going to check this out in the chat. I bet this guy's very poor decorum. Let's see what he has to say in this post. Oh no, this Gen Xers have boomer envy. Wait, what? Ew! Oh my god! Oh, yikes!
Oh, that's weird. What a weird guy.
Oh, yikes! Oh no!
Oh, that's weird. That's not okay. It's not even close to the same level, but it's in the same ballpark as like do you remember when what's his name? He was talking about Taylor Swift's eggs.
It's a definitely fucking Stefan Molyneux in the eggs territory. Yeah. I know what you're talking. Yeah, Stefan Molyneux in the eggs. Oh, I'm not even. I mean, you can click that shit if you want, chat. That's weird.
It's weird and gross.
Oh,
I mean, it's not like a picture. It's just text.
Yeah, Lisa, just click the most recent link you find in chat. I'm uncomfortable now. Actually, I'm uncomfortable with this guy. I'm more uncomfortable with this guy's face than I was before. Oh my god. I fucking thanks whoever. I think it was Irate Lump. Thanks. Now I feel weird.
It was an arbitrary ex post action, and so I say let him hang himself. Give him like a smart parent does with a obstreperous 9-year-old. Give him enough rope to hang himself, and then say, "See, I told you."
I think you're setting yourself up for a disaster, and at the end of the day, you're going to have to ban him, and people will still hate you, and there will have been nothing gained, in my opinion. Just my view, my perspective.
I think we'll have to differ on that one. It's been a good conversation. I enjoyed it, Aaron. Nice to meet you. I'd be happy to chat with you in the future.
Oh, Jim Rutt, you should come on this show. No, this guy's. We get this guy on this show. This guy's an idiot. This guy doesn't even know how the internet works. We could definitely get this guy on our show.
He'd be complaining that we were breaking decorum the whole time.
That'd be fucking amazing, dude. We get this guy on the show. We'd be like, I'd like to talk to you specifically about decorum. And then just from the jump, just start talking shit, making fun of him, bringing up that tweet that we just saw a minute ago. Just read that to him like 6 times.
Just like literally read that and be like, so breaking decorum.
I'm not sure that he would think that was break just because it fucking really weirded you and me out. I'm not, and 99.9% of people who read it. He didn't really call anybody any names or anything. He I don't know.
He said like he
disparaged my generation, but I'm not very proud of the ones of us who have gained power. So I'm kind of okay with that. Oh my God, that tweet is disgusting. Have we seen anything weirder? Oh, it's gone from the internet, but that's the only thing we've really done like during the post game of this show that's weirder than that or more uncomfortable than that was the She-Ra thing.